Hey everybody, we are here with Axel this afternoon. Axel is a 1-year-old Belgian Malinois, and he came to us for a board and train program for pretty severe leash reactivity issues. Um, he's very noisy. He's actually a very sweet boy, but he's very noisy, and you certainly wouldn't think so if you first met him on a leash. He's very noisy, and he bucks up on a leash and everything. So what we're working on, what we first started working on, come on, buddy, was pressure and release. So if you've seen any of my other videos, we're simply doing pressure on and pressure off as soon as his butt hits the ground to relay to him, calm down. And then we also use pops to relay, pay attention. So it's kind of like a traffic light. You have a red light. Good boy. Red light. Axel, sit. Good boy. Right, so that's red light. Okay. Yellow light is just that. It's a pop just to kind of relay to him, slow down, pay attention. And then a green light is when we have this nice U shape in our leash right there. We have no pressure on the leash, and he's following our lead. So what we've also added in today is the transitional, which is where we take the slip lead and it does a figure 8 and it goes over his muzzle so that we can apply the light pressure that we're using to not only the pressure points in his skull, but the ones in his muzzle as well, so that it kind of drives it home a little bit quicker and with even less force. So the whole point behind slip leads and using your transitional is to really get your dog to pay attention, to focus on you as a handler, and to have a way to communicate with your dog that's not just English, right? So dogs don't speak English. We don't speak bark. So it's very difficult to use spoken words as our only line of communication. It's a lot better to use a pressure system, which is going to be your slip lead, pressure on and off, using yourself as a form of pressure, which is called spatial pressure, or using your e-collar as a pressure on and pressure off that pairs with his name. We're going to be using all of those techniques with him, of course, but he's doing fantastic so far. So he's a really smart boy. He knows his commands. We're really just relaying to him right now that we're doing a lot of, so you can see, we're going to want that a little quicker. We were just doing this inside, and he did really good with it inside. We're outside now, and he's a little bit slower, but that's normal. That's just because there's a lot of distractions. Axel. Good boy. Right, so I just don't give in. I just hold that same force of pressure. I added a little bit of spatial pressure right there, not to add more tension, but to get him to pay attention. Right, so a big thing that I want to talk about when it comes to healing with any dog is learning how to read your dog's body language. This is going to be key when you have a dog that is reactive, because dogs are never going to go from 0 to 100 when it comes to reacting on leash. They're always going to give you some warning signs that they're feeling uncomfortable about the situation before they react to it. So it's really important for you as a handler to know how to read your dog and know. So like right now, he sees a car across the way, right? And he's staring that down. So instead of giving him a lot of time to just sit there and focus on that and make up his mind on what he wants to do and how he wants to react, I'm going to change his thought process. Axel. Yes, good boy. Just by using his name, just giving him a little pop when he didn't pay attention, we start healing, and then I'm going to start doing turns. So turns are great because it's going to force him to have to pay attention to what I'm doing as a handler rather than what's going on around him. The whole goal in this is to get your dog to follow you. So it's like you're playing a game of follow the leader. If he is ahead of me right there, he is no longer following me, he is leading me. Right? So if he is not following where you're going, he is leading you and you are now following. So this is really important for him to understand that he is no longer in control of the walks. You are the one that is in control of the walk, and you're going to tell him where we're going, how fast we're going, when we're going to stop, where we're going, everything. You're in charge of it all. He should always be following your lead. Now, the more things you do as far as turns and stops and direction changes and pace changes, you're going to have a lot better dog that heals and focuses on you a lot better. If you just go in a straight line, he's going to lose focus on you real quick, because if you're playing a game of follow the leader with a little kid and all you did was walk in a straight line, that's going to be the most boring game of follow the leader ever, and no kid is going to want to play with you very long. They're going to lose interest. So is a dog. So you have to do things, good boy, to keep him focusing on you as a handler. Now, especially with a Malinois, you have to make sure that you're giving him as much mental stimulation as physically possible. They are an extremely bright dog, one of the smartest, if not the smartest dog, and the number one working dog. So if they don't have a job, they're going to find a way to release that energy and that tension. And that's, it's different for every dog, but in his case, it's coming out in just, like, you can see when he shakes because he's just so, like, overwhelmed about even just, like, waiting at the door, or when we're playing ball, or, you can see in him how much energy and, like, frustration it builds up in him. So the more you do with him, the happier he's going to be and the happier you're going to be. So this is a great heel. We've been walking up and down the street already. He's doing a great job. I live on a cul-de-sac, so it's nice and quiet. I have enough space in the field that if I need to step off to the side from, like, if a neighbor comes out, I have space to do that right now. So I'm in control of, I'm not 100% in control of of all the distractions that could pop up around me. But that's why we start slow and we slowly build up to walking away from my house, where I know nobody's really going to come down there. If he sees somebody, it's going to be up the street, and I can work on giving him space and something else to focus on. Now that I'm walking up the street, I don't have that luxury of giving him as much space, but I do have the luxury to step off to the side. So as you can see, this is a great walk. This is what I want to see. That's perfect. Okay, so you can see if I turned, he didn't pay attention and turn with me. Come on, buddy. Good boy. Heel. All right, so he heard some stuff falling over there. So he's on, he's on alert. He's looking and everything, but he's not, like, super tense. But remember, the whole goal is to get him to follow. So watch his body language. He's going to let you know if he sees something or hears something that's going to be a distraction. And at that point, that's when you can use that pop to let him know, don't pay attention to that, pay attention to me right now. And your timing is everything with this, because if he turns and looks at something and I immediately tell him, don't do that, my timing was precise, and he's pinpointing it, and he's making the connection that it's because he's looking over at the distractions. Now, if I can stop him from just even looking at the distractions, we're stopping a behavior before it progresses or starts. So if we really just make sure he is focusing on me, he's not going to progress to the next level of frustration as far as the distraction goes. He's going to just keep on following me. So watching that body language, it's like right there, as soon as they turn and they look at something else, they are no longer focusing on me as a handler. They've now turned their focus onto something else, and that's negating the point of a heel, which is a moving command where he should be continuously walking and following your lead. So he's doing a great job. It's nice and quiet out right now, which is awesome. We didn't have to worry. We're getting a positive walk in. We took a nice walk on the transitional together now, and he didn't, feel worked up about anything. We didn't really come across any big distractions or anything like that. So it was a nice beginning to starting to take longer walks with him and practicing our transitional heel. So as we continue our lessons on together, I will of course be posting more videos of Axel and all of his progress. He's such a sweet boy. I really do love him. We're having a good time together. He absolutely loves to play ball. He's doing great with my husband. He really loves him. He's not barking at my son. My son was just, I just had him out in the living room with me playing ball, and my son was right outside of the living room behind the baby gate, and he could care less. He didn't bark at him or even walk over to the gate. He was more interested in playing with the ball. So that's fine with me. But he's been doing great. He doesn't bark at him if he comes in the kitchen where his crate is or anything like that. So yeah, all in all, he's making great progress. Really proud of everything he's doing, and we're going to get him feeling a whole lot better about things. So stay tuned. We'll have more progress reports on Axel as we go. Have a good one. Say bye, buddy.